Xia Ran, put this green snake in purgatory. The captain said. Xia Ran came up, dragged the green snake's tail with one hand, and walked towards purgatory. The body of the snake is hundreds of feet long and weighs thousands of catties. In his hands, he can't feel any weight. Dragged the green snake into purgatory. He opened the prison door and threw it away, and all the huge snake bodies were thrown in. Boom! The ground shook and there was a huge echo. Lock the prison door. The golden book of good fortune in his mind turned a page, revealing the information of the green snake and the crimes he had committed. The golden light flickered, and three things were displayed on the golden page: 100,000 proficiency, the art of changing shape, and the seed of sword intent. Open the properties panel. Xia Ran, martial arts cultivation base, the 10th level of the Great Master Spirit Master Cultivation, reality 10th layer martial arts, power of the evil dragon, returning to the original, 6 paths divine prison fist, returning to the original, 12 steps on the sky, supernatural, spiritual skills, throwing beans into a soldier, returning to the basics, net of heaven and earth, supernatural, traveling through the 3 years of the great summer. It was hereditary. From the first day he took office as a replacement for his father Xiaoan, until now, Xia Ran has been in the prison. Like other transmigrators, he also has golden fingers. After 3 years of exploration, Xia Ran also figured out the role of the Golden Book of Fortune. As long as they pass through his hands, the demons imprisoned or the criminals beheaded can get rewards from the Golden Book of Fortune. The above is all he has earned. Add 100,000 proficiency to the Sword Intent seed. Attribute refresh, Sword Intent, slightly successful, out of purgatory. A jailer hurried over and said, "Lord Colonel has an order, let us immediately put down what we are doing and rush to the hall on the first floor." Xia Ran and him went to the lobby on the first floor. Almost all the jailers of the heavenly prison are here. The hall of Nyuta was very crowded, and the captain was standing in front. The people of the sword guard pressed a young woman with a moon-white hat to cover her face. "Send your majesty's order to imprison the criminal Xiaojing in purgatory." Master Zijian, headed by Divine Sword Guard, said. Hiss! Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Xiaojing is the princess of the great Xia, the elder sister of the current emperor Shengwen, and the arrogant of martial arts. As soon as he was born, the ancient divine beast, the golden phoenix, surrounded the imperial city for 100 days. When she came into the world, the golden phoenix turned into her body and awakened the phoenix body. At the age of 3, the heavenly realm is complete, the innate realm is complete at the age of 8, the Grand Master realm is complete at the age of 15, and the Great Grand Master is complete at the age of 30. Zhang traveled alone into the beast's hinterland, killing all the demons within thousands of miles with one sword. So far, there is still the supreme sword energy left there, making countless people dare not take a step. Such a distinguished and important person has actually been reduced to a prisoner. "Sir, we can't suppress it." The captain was terrified. "Humph! Her peepa bones are pierced, and she can't use her monstrous skills. She is not even as good as an ordinary person. What are you afraid of?" Lord Zijian reprimanded. "It's your lord." The colonel responded hurriedly. "Before your majesty handed down the order, take good care of him, there is a little mistake, you are the only one to ask." After explaining, Lord Divine Sword took a group of subordinates and hurried away. "Throw this hot potato to the captain." "Your Highness, please." The captain made a respectful gesture of invitation. The eldest princess didn't even move when she stood there, and didn't even lift her eyelids. The colonel gritted his teeth and ordered, "Invite the eldest princess to purgatory." The 2 jailers hurried forward and grabbed the eldest princess. As soon as she walked to her side, a huge coercion erupted from her body, the aura surged, and the 2 jailers flew out. "Your Highness, is this trying to resist? Go away." The eldest princess drank coldly. The colonel was angry, offended. With a wave of his right hand, a dozen prison guards rushed towards the eldest princess. As soon as they arrived in front of her, that terrifying pressure reappeared, sending them all flying away. "Come on together!" The captain's face was ashen. Hundreds of jailers rushed up and grabbed the eldest princess. "Hey!" The golden light swept through, and countless rays of light rushed out of her body. A golden phoenix flew out from the top of her head. Looking at the jailers who were rushing up, they flapped their wings and transformed into a hurricane, sweeping them all out. In less than a second, the prison was almost destroyed. The colonel's face was ugly, so gloomy that it was about to drip out of water. The violent aura erupted, and he walked towards the eldest princess step by step. "Your Highness, you are embarrassing us." The words fall. The colonel took a step and appeared beside the eldest princess. The cultivation base of the first-level Grandmaster realm was fully functioning, his palms turned into claws, and he grabbed the eldest princess with a mighty force. "It's too much." The eldest princess dismissed it. The golden phoenix's sharp claws stuck out, knocked the palm he grabbed into the air, and smashed his wings on his head, smashing his whole body out. Puff! The colonel was badly wounded, smashing more than a dozen walls before he stopped and was buried by rubble. It is rumored that the heavenly prison is a forbidden place for cultivation, and it is extremely dangerous, but that's all. The eldest princess sneered. Glancing away. Seeing Xia Ran standing in the corner, a cold glow appeared on the corner of his mouth, and he took the initiative to walk towards him. In front of Xia Ran. "You seem to have a plan, you are not afraid of this palace," the eldest princess said. "Your Highness, why is this necessary?" Xia Ran said. "You want to do it too. Heavenly prison is my home, and your majesty has a decree to imprison you in purgatory." The eldest princess's aura turned fierce without warning. Yu reading www.theyuyuganshu.com. Golden Phoenix circled and roared fiercely at Xia Ran. "Hey!" A huge wave of air rushed towards Xia Ran violently. I saw Xia Ran standing calmly in the same place. Under the surprised eyes of the eldest princess, he stretched out a palm, grabbed the neck of the golden phoenix, and yanked it violently, stepping it under his feet. "This is impossible." The princess' complexion changed greatly. She took 3 steps back in a row. "When you come to my sight, it's better for His Highness to be quiet," Xia Ran said. "Really?" The eldest princess snorted coldly. Controlling Golden Phoenix's desperate struggle, trying to escape from Xia Ran's feet. "Stubborn." Xia Ran shook his head. With a little bit of her right foot, she stepped on the Golden Phoenix, turning it into a little bit of aura and returning to her body. Under the terrified eyes of the eldest princess, she rushed in front of her, grabbed her fragrant shoulder, and smashed it violently against the wall. After hitting a dozen walls, Xia Ran just stopped in front of her. "Take another shot." He grabbed her body and smashed it out again. From the south to the north, and then from the north to the south, it stopped until she fainted. "This person is a cheap man, he is dishonest if he doesn't suffer a little," Xia Ran said. Carrying the eldest princess, she walked towards purgatory. When they got to purgatory, they opened the first cell and threw the eldest princess into it. The prison door is closed. The Golden Book of Fortune appeared in his mind, and he opened the first page, revealing Xiaojing's information, as well as the crime she committed this time. Injured more than a dozen palace ancestors, and was suppressed by an old monster who had lived for thousands of years. The golden page rotates, revealing 3 things. Jushin Yuling to pure power, 500,000 proficiency, Phoenix Xian Yuan swordsmanship. Divide the 500,000 proficiency into 400,000, and add them all to the Jushin Yuling's He Shang. Attribute refresh. Jushin Yuling's He Shun Gong, God and Demon Gong method. A first look at the door effect, refining the heaven and earth, cultivating to pure spiritual power, refining the supreme physical body, and unparalleled combat power. Note: you cannot cultivate unless you are a demon, or you will turn into a monstrous devil and feed on the heaven and earth. Others can't cultivate. Xia Ran is different. He has golden fingers, and after digitizing, there is no legacy. Add the remaining 100,000 proficiency to the Phoenix Xianyuan swordsmanship. Phoenix Xianyuan swordsmanship, heavenly rank top grade. A first look at the doorway. Close the properties panel. Xia Ran glanced at the eldest princess. There was purgatory fire in purgatory, and there was a filthy aura. Purgatory fire burns the soul and burns people alive into an idiot. The filth of yin can corrode the vitality. Let its vitality be scattered, decay and die. A little bit of golden light protected her, keeping all the hellfire and filthy aura out. Get out of purgatory. The lieutenant hurried over with a group of people. Where's the eldest princess? His Highness felt guilty and took the initiative to follow me into purgatory to repent. Xia Ran said. Well. The lieutenant didn't think much about it. In his opinion, Xia Ran is just an ordinary jailer. Even these people are not the opponents of the eldest princess, let alone him. Xia Ran smiled slightly, when he shot just now. He used the power of his soul to distort the surrounding space, and what happened to them could not be seen through the cultivation of the captain and others. Unless the cultivation base is higher than him. Take people away quickly. I don't want to stay here for a moment. There are 9 floors in the heavenly prison. Below the 9th floor, there is another layer of purgatory. Naturally formed, it has been shrouded in purgatory fire and filthy qi for a long time. With the leakage of these years, the filthy qi has surged up, covering the entire heavenly prison. The closer you get to purgatory, the heavier the filth. Therefore, served in the sky prison, and every 3 years, including the school captain and other jailers, rotated once. Xia Ran is in his 3rd year this year, and he will be consummated in 3 months. At that time, he will be transferred out to a more expensive position. For others, this place is a dangerous place. For me, it is an inexhaustible treasure trove. When the time comes, I have to revise the documents. Xiao Ran said. Brother Xiao, you are here, let me have a good meal. Xiao Zhou ran over. She took out a tael of silver from her arms and stuffed it into Xiao Ran's hands. Brother Xiao, the 8th floor, the 102nd cell, send the demon on the road. It's just to help, the money is unnecessary. Xiao Ran declined. How can you? Brother Xiao, you risk your life, that's what you should. Xiao Zhou said. Xiao Ran was just polite, collected the money, and took the documents from him. Brother Xiao has worked hard for you. Xiao Zhou thanked him and left. The original decision was right. Xiao Ran said. This is the 2nd year he entered the heavenly prison. He disliked the fact that he detained and killed too few demons every day, so he delayed his reward and came up with a method. As long as you give the money, Xiao Ran will act on his behalf. First, you can brush the golden book of fortune, and second, you can make money. After 2 years, all the guards in the heavenly prison knew that there was Xiao Ran. When he arrived at the 102nd cell on the 8th floor, there was a bull demon detained in it, with black demonic aura tumbling all over his body, a terrifying evil spirit emanating from him, with eyes bigger than eggs. The limbs were chained and tied to the wall in a large shape. She was stunned and couldn't move. Seeing Xiao Ran come in, the panic in the bull demon's eyes flashed away, and he bewitched, this king is the general of King New Mountain. As long as you let me go, this king will teach you the unique skills of heaven. Xiao Ran took out the torture tools, a long sword and a dagger. On the long sword and dagger, there is the blessing of the formation described by the spiritual master, which can break through the defense of the demon and kill them. The long sword takes the lives of demons, and the dagger takes their materials. According to the document, after the bull demon is killed, the tendons, whip, eyes, horns, beef, blood, and hair of the bull will be taken from him. Demons are full of treasures, and these things can be used to refine weapons and alchemy. Okay. Xiao Ran said. Holding the long sword, he chopped off his head. Mutation. A drop of demon blood flew out from the severed head, turned into a streak of blood, and charged towards Xiao Ran's eyebrows. He was about to enter Xiao Ran's body and take him away. A palm, golden light flickering, calmly grabbed the drop of demon blood in the palm. No matter how hard it struggles, it will never be able to break free from the control of the golden light. You, who are you? The cow demon said in fear. Xiao Ran. When he finished speaking, he squeezed the drop of demon blood with a squeeze of his palm. The golden book of good fortune appeared, opened a page, revealing the information of the bull demon and the crimes he committed. A month ago, in Ljia town, he swallowed up tens of thousands of people in the town to practice demon arts, and was arrested by the Shenjian guards. The golden page rolled over, revealing two things: 10,000 proficiency and blood essence pill. The cultivation level of the bull demon is relatively weak, and the things he brushes are not as good as the eldest princess. Holding the dagger, decompose the bull demon. The skill is close to the Tao, and it is natural. He perfectly took off the material from the bull demon and put it into the mysterious empty bag. Go back to the 8th floor. Xiao Zhou hurried up to meet him, and smiled. Brother Xiao, has it been resolved? Yet. Xiao ran through the empty bag over. Xiao Zhou checked it out and became more and more satisfied. Brother Xiao, thank you. You reading www.yuyuganshu.com. After get off work in the evening, I will invite you to drink. One drink is not enough. Xiao Ran said. It wasn't him who made the move. With Xiao Zhou's Hushan 5th level cultivation, he was afraid that he would be taken away by the bull demon. Xiao Yi was stunned, thinking that the bull demon was too difficult to kill, so he accepted it with a smile. How about the drunken immortal courtyard? Okay. Xiao Ran agreed. Go back to the 9th floor. Entering the quiet room, he closed the door. Adding this 10,000 proficiency to the art of shape changing, although it is only the best of the earth rank, but it can change the appearance. Even if you encounter the secret art of the spirit pupil, you will not be able to see through it. The art of transformation. A first look at the door, he took out the blood Yuan Dan, and Zhang took it orally. Just swallowed here, Jushan Yuling's He Shun refined it, adding a year of spiritual power. Apart from that, Jushan Yuling's pure power runs on its own for 12 hours, engulfing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth in the air, as well as the filthy aura in the heavenly prison. Tempering the flesh again, but the realm is too low, and the effect is still very slow. It's still a long way from breaking through to the Xianzong realm. Xiao Ran sighed. Into the night. Xiao Ran finished the handover, put on a blue brocade suit, and met Xiao Zhou at the door of the dormitory. Besides Xiao Zhou, there are two other people, both colleagues. Brother Xiao, I thought you weren't coming. Xiao Zhou joked. The local tyrants treat guests, why don't they come for free? Xiao Ran said. The other two laughed loudly, causing Xiao Zhou to feel resentment, and they went to the drunk immortal courtyard while talking and laughing. Just in time for a good show, the Warren came out of the pavilion, and the drunken immortal court held an auction, and the bidder could hold the beauty tonight. Ask for a collection, a recommendation ticket, a monthly ticket, all kinds of requests. Xiaobai is not picky about food. Xiao Zhou, isn't your family rich? Huakui is so beautiful, so you won't be tempted. Yet, Xiao Zhou, the peony flower is dead, and it's romantic to be a ghost. Facing the jokes of the two, Xiao Zhou shook his head. The people who came today are either the powerful or the second generation of officials. My family does have a little money, but compared to them, they don't even have enough to carry shoes. Seeing that Xiao Ran was only interested in drinking and eating, Xiao Zhou asked, Brother Xiao, why don't you look at the Warren? Can you eat it? Xiao Ran asked. Xiao Zhou was at a loss for words, thinking about it is right, what are their identities, the prison guards, what do they compare with the people below? Come for a drink. Xiao Zhou greeted. The bidding came to an end soon. Yang Beiyu, the son of the general, won the first prize at a price of 200,000 taels, and the beautiful woman returned. The general is a righteous man, he is selfless, and has 3 sons, but this youngest son is ignorant and oppresses the good. Who said no? It's a miracle that the warren falls into his hands. It's a miracle that he can survive tonight. Xiao Zhou made a booing gesture and pointed outside, be careful that the walls have ears. The two looked at each other, we didn't say anything. Eat and drink well. Xiao Zhou paid the bill, and the 4 left. Back at the dormitory, they dispersed. The next day, Xiao Ran had just arrived at the heavenly prison when the captain escorted a criminal. Xiao Ran, put her in purgatory. The captain ordered. The person in front of him is none other than the warren last night. My lord, what crime did she commit? Xiao Ran was curious. Yang Beiyu was killed by her. Yang Beiyu is the youngest son of the general, and he is the young master who smashed 200,000 taels last night. Yet, Xiao Ran responded. Press her down and take her into purgatory. Imprisoned her in cell 68. The Golden Book of Fortune appeared in her mind, showing her information and the sins she committed. In the early hours of yesterday morning, Yang Beiyu was slashed with thousands of knives until the last drop of blood was shed. This is a cruel man. The golden page flickered, and 2 things appeared: clear eyesight and 50,000 proficiency. No wonder he succeeded and killed Yang Beiyu and the rest of the guards. Out of purgatory and into the quiet room. Add 50,000 proficiency to it. Attribute refresh. Ling Qing Ming Mu, special pupil technique. A first glimpse of the door showing his clear eyes, he looked towards the prison. The filthy aura that was pitch black as ink was as thick as a mountain, covering every corner of the heavenly prison, especially the place where the demons were imprisoned. Put away the clear eyes. It's a very useful pupil technique. Xiao Ran said. After leaving the quiet room, a jailer hurried over and handed the document to Xiao Ran. Your Excellency has an order to slash the warren with 1,000 knives, the jailer said. The response from above is so fast. Xiao Ran frowned. It's the son of the general who died, so his reaction is naturally quicker. I see. Xiao Ran said. Turned around and entered purgatory. Stop here at cell 68. Showing her clear eyes, she looked at her. She is a spiritual master, not a martial artist. She doesn't take the initiative and cannot check her specific cultivation. Under the pupil technique, her cultivation level was revealed, and she was at the first level of the spiritual realm, corresponding to the martial artist of the first level of the master realm. Under the double torture of purgatory fire and filthy qi, she sat on the spot without changing her face, as if it was not her but someone else who was tortured. Opening the prison door, Xiao Ran walked in. Are you going to take me on the road so soon? The warren said. The crime you committed is too serious. Xiao Ran said. Before you start, can you listen to me tell a story? Yes. Xiao Ran responded. He took out the torture tool and wiped it silently. The warren calmly faced and told his story. She has a younger sister who was accidentally met by Yang Beiyu. This evil spirit was so lost that she couldn't walk. After finding out her address, she forcibly kidnapped her sister on a dark and windy night. If this is the case, the matter is over. But this beast forced her sister to death by cruel means, but she was angry. She didn't let go of her body. She tortured her for 3 days, and then had her body thrown at the entrance of the village, where she was eaten by more than a dozen big wolf dogs. Speaking of which, the warren sneered, do you think such a beast should die? Damn! Xiao Ran said. I did nothing wrong to avenge my sister, right? The fault is that you gave birth to the wrong child, and you were born without his dignity." Xiao Ran said. The Warren was at a loss for words and smiled sarcastically. "What are you going to do? The above asked me to delay you and return you to others in the way of others. Before starting, can you fulfill a small request from me?" The Warren seduced. "Let's talk about it. I'm still perfect. I've been cultivating in the teacher's sect until I heard the tragic news of my sister. Before I die, I want to be a real woman." Hua Kui blushed. "This request is too difficult, I can't do it." Xiao Ran felt ashamed. "You're not a man. You are poisonous, I dare not try it." Xiao Ran pointed. Holding the long sword, facing her stunned eyes, she continued, "For the sake of your reasons, I will send you on your way directly." "Wait." The Warren complexion changed. Unexpectedly, Xiao Ran saw through his calculations. Xiao Ran is right, she is indeed poisonous there. Once Xiao Ran comes in, she can use her soul power to use the power of pure yin to cast a secret technique, break the seal on her body, subdue Xiao Ran in an instant, and then escape from the prison. Unfortunately, Xiao Ran didn't cooperate. "What other last words do you have?" Xiao Ran asked. "My teacher is from the Tianyan Mountain Tianyan sect. You are only a small jailer here all your life. Let me go, I will take you back to the teacher's door, and let the master accept you as a disciple and teach you the secrets that the Tianyan sect does not pass on. This is my home, you can go." Xiao Ran said. The long sword pierced her heart and took her away. A soul imprint, turned into a black light, quickly rushed into Xiao Ran's body, and condensed into a plum imprint on his arm. "Uneasy and kind-hearted, if I die, I will have people seek revenge on me." Xiao Ran's face was cold. Mobilizing the huge soul power, he rushed over violently, erasing the imprint of this plum blossom. She threw her body into the ground fire, and instantly turned to ashes in front of the raging flames. "Go back to the 9th floor." A jailer carried a lunch box and placed it on the table. "Brother Xiao, can you give me this meal to the eldest princess?" The jailer took out a tael of silver from his waist and handed it over. "What kind of money are my brothers talking about?" Xiao Ran quickly collected the money. "Thank you, Brother Xiao, I'll go back first, the filth here is too heavy." The jailer said goodbye. Xiao Ran carried the lunch box to the first cell. He took out the key, opened the cell door, and walked in with the lunch box in hand. As expected of the eldest princess, His Majesty's sister, is also in prison, so the treatment is different. Daily necessities are readily available, but they are all expensive. Open the lunch box, take out the food and put it on the table. "It's dinner," Xiao Ran said. The eldest princess opened her eyes and looked at him indifferently, thinking of what happened yesterday. Her anger could no longer be suppressed. "Call me when you're done eating," Xiao Ran said. "Go outside." Just as he walked to the prison door, there was a low-pitched gas explosion behind him, and a fist slammed into his back. The power of the evil dragon takes the initiative to protect the master. Yelling, the golden dragon circled and danced in Xiao Ran's body, the golden light rushed out, and the violent force shook her out in an instant. The walls here in purgatory are very strong, formed naturally by the loss of iron over 10,000 years, and the gods and demons cannot easily break it. The eldest princess hit the wall and fell to the ground. Jade hand clapped, did a backflip, and stood up quickly. The golden light swayed, and the golden phoenix rushed out from the top of her head again. Looking at Xiao Ran coldly, he gritted his silver teeth. Bengong doesn't believe in this evil. She charged up again sharply and controlled the golden phoenix. Following her right fist, the phoenix claws slammed and grabbed Xiao Ran's chest together. "The bones of the Pipa have been sealed, and you still have the power to fight. You are a special body-protecting beast," Xiao Ran said. "Take a leap." He jumped up from the ground, raised his right foot, made a straight line with his left foot, and slashed violently. Boom! The eldest princess fell and flew out again, and even the golden phoenix was shattered, turning into golden light and turning into her body again. Come back! Xiao Ran hooked his little finger. Why is that? The eldest princess couldn't believe it. Why can't it be like this? The golden phoenix protects the body, even if the peepa bone is sealed. This palace's strength can be comparable to the 10th level of a Grand Master. Are you a great Grand Master? Is there anything else? I have nothing to do. Xiao Ran said. The eldest princess was silent and did not dare to do it again. At least until the peepa bones are unraveled, she doesn't dare to do it again, otherwise she will be asking for hardships. Xiao Ran left the cell and was about to lock the cell door. The eldest princess' complexion changed, her delicate body trembled violently, curled up together, and rolled on the ground in pain. A suppressed sound of pain came from her jade lips. Ah! What's going on? Xiao Ran wondered. Shi Zhanling looked at the past with clear eyes. The black demonic energy penetrated from her body and rushed towards the top of her head, trying to control her. Golden Phoenix desperately protects her last bit of clarity and prevents this demonic chi from succeeding. Is this the legacy of cultivating the 9 heavens Yuling to pure power? Xiao Ran asked. I'm going to. I can't stand it anymore. The eldest princess roared with a hideous expression. A huge wave of air swept through and lifted the bamboo hat she was wearing, revealing an alluring face. At this moment, demonic energy was everywhere on her face, even in her eyes. If you don't have that strength, what kind of magic do you practice? Xiao Ran asked. Into the cell again. In front of her, the golden light in his palm condensed and patted her on the head. The demonic energy was like seeing a terrifying nemesis, and was directly scattered, and the eldest princess regained some clarity. Looking at Xiao Ran, he didn't care about anything else. He opened his mouth and prayed, "Hit me. This request is so embarrassing." Xiao Ran was embarrassed. How does it sound like role-playing? Hurry up. I can't bear it anymore. The eldest princess begged. I don't hit women. Ah! The eldest princess roared. The strong demonic energy swelled, the surrounding temperature dropped to a terrifying level, and the entire cell fell into darkness in an instant. Except for special circumstances. Xiao Ran added. Using the pure power of Jushin Yuling, she slapped her face with a palm, followed by another. The demonic energy dissipated at a speed visible to the naked eye. The eldest princess's sanity, which was about to fall, recovered a little, and begged again, "Put harder. Special treatment for special circumstances." Xiao Ran affirmed. He grabbed her head, pressed her to the ground, rode on her body, and smashed it down with a storm-like attack. After more than 100 punches, Xiao Ran stopped. The demonic energy in the eldest princess was temporarily dissipated, and there would be no danger to her life in a short time. A face as beautiful as a fairy, with a big bulge and swollen like a fat pig. Especially her 2 eyes are scarier than lanterns. You asked me. Xiao Ran said. Come down. The eldest princess said weakly. Good. Xiao Ran got up from her. You are not allowed to say anything about today's affairs, and no one is allowed to mention it. I don't know anything. Xiao Ran locked the cell door and slipped away. Who is he? When did such a character appear in the prison? The eldest princess fell into deep thought. Thinking of the aftermath brought by the 9 heavens Yuling's Hishang, even the holy phoenix sacred body could not be suppressed. Why was he able to break it up with 3 punches and 2 feet? Out of purgatory. Xiao Ran received a lunchbox. Although it was not a spiritual item, it was enough fish and meat. Have eaten. The colonel assigned tasks, and Xiao Ran was assigned 2 tasks, one on the 9th floor and one in purgatory, both of which were sent to them on their way. When he reached the 9th floor, he entered cell 132. The opponent was the ancestor of the demon Dao, who was in the 8th level of the Master Realm. He used to refine evil spirit treasures by thousands of babies, and was captured by the sword guard. Xia Ran simply and neatly sent him on the road, letting him experience the severity of torture. The Golden Book of Good Fortune appeared, and I learned a painting technique, returning to the basics. This is also the first time he has mastered the skills of life, full of realm. Back in purgatory again, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com stood outside a cell. This time, the green snake is to be dealt with. Just yesterday, he was imprisoned with his own hands, and he will be sent on the road today. This is either to offend people, or to commit too much sin. There is no record in the document, only his snake blood, snake meat, snake scales. Open the prison door. Xia Ran walked in, and the green snake, whose body was over 100 feet long, curled up on the ground, bound by iron chains, and looked at him with icy snake eyes mercilessly. Seeing Xia Ran take out the torture tool, a trace of cruelty flashed in the snake's eyes. You didn't even have a mouthful of food before you set off on the road. Qing Snake tried to delay time. There is no such business in the prison, I will react with the above when I look back. Xia Ran said. Wipe the long sword clean. You should be on your way. This king will ask you one more question. Say. Did you imprison this king yesterday? Qing Snake asked. I don't bother the second master. Xia Ran admitted generously. That's right. Qing Snake gave a deep smile. The demonic energy rolled around, and the momentum that covered the sky and the sun erupted, breaking the seal of the peepa bone, and the snake tail rolled up, smashing the iron chain tied to the body. Spitting out the snake core, the cat chased the mouse, and said jokingly, You imprison this king, just use your body to taste it back. Your peepa bone was not sealed, someone deliberately let you in. Xia Ran said. You're quite smart, and you found out the problem so quickly. As the words fell, the green snake rolled its huge body and rushed up quickly. He opened his mouth and swallowed it towards Xia Ran. Updated at a fixed time, at 11:30 in the morning, the two chapters are updated together. Ziobai asks for support. It's so stinky, you demons don't like to brush your teeth. Xia Ran pinched his nose in disgust. His right hand was surrounded by golden light, and he grabbed it upwards. It seemed disproportionate, but he grabbed the mouth in his hand. Come here, you. Pulling hard, the supreme power is simply not something that the green snake can resist. He pressed his head to the ground and stepped on it with his right foot. The long sword was cut out, splitting it in half. The demonic chi rolled over, and I saw that the two parts of his broken body actually healed up. Weak and sluggish, his aura was more than half weaker than before. Hiding in the corner with a fearful expression, you don't believe what you say. It's interesting, and it can be resurrected. Xia Ran became interested. Fortunately, the Lord left behind to guard against you, otherwise you will fall into your trap this time. Green Snake said coldly. He opened his mouth and spit out the demon pill. A long-distance teleportation circle is depicted on the demon pill. Get up! Green Snake shouted. Activate the teleportation circle on the demon pill with blood. The 5-point scion transmits light from purgatory through the heavens and the earth, rushing towards the outside world. Trash! Can't even handle this trivial matter. A cold snort sounded. A strong demonic energy emanated from the teleportation circle, a huge coercion, and the surrounding space was oppressed, and a thunderous sonic boom came out. A white snake over 1,000 feet in size walked out of the teleportation circle and landed on the side of the green snake. With his appearance, the green snake's demon pill shattered directly. The demon pill was abolished, and the green snake seemed to be severely injured, spitting out a large mouthful of blood. Its breath was even more sluggish, and it could faint to death at any time. White Snake bent a finger, and a demonic force penetrated into his body, temporarily stabilizing Qing Snake's injury. Thank you, Lord. Ching Snake respectfully thanked him. You can't even take care of a small jailer, and you have to come out in person, and you will lose all the face of my Snake King clan. White Snake scolded. The Green Snake rolled to the side and stayed honest. White Snake looked at Xia Ran coldly. You human beings, even if you don't follow the rules, you can change everything you promise. The 7th level snake demon of the Great Grand Master, this is rare. Xia Ran said with a smile. When death is imminent, you still dare to laugh. White Snake got angry. He opened his mouth and sprayed, and a bolt of lightning as thick as a bucket smashed it fiercely. Broke in. Xia Ran shot. A simple punch hit this lightning bolt, breaking all methods with one force, and rudely shattered it. As soon as he stepped, he was already in front of this white snake. Grabbing his head, he lifted him from the ground. The power of the evil dragon erupted, using him as a sandbag and smashing him on the cell. Bang bang bang! One after another. Ching Snake was stunned, his eyes were so irritating that he couldn't bear to watch it. He turned his head and thought, Lord, this is too miserable, right? After a dozen breaths, Xia ran through it roughly and smashed the white snake against the wall. White Snake shook his head, his demon body was about to fall apart, and he couldn't use his strength. Seeing Xia Ran coming over, he hurriedly shouted, Senior, listen to me. Your demon pill is also engraved with a teleportation circle. Xia Ran asked. No, no. The white snake sweated. Then what are you going to say? Senior, this matter is a misunderstanding. The junior went the wrong way. In fact, he didn't come here. White Snake said with a guilty conscience. I am a human, you are a demon. Xia Ran said. With one foot on the long sword, golden light blesses it, turning it into a hurricane, killing the white snake. The golden book of good fortune appeared, showing the information of the white snake and the sins he had committed. Although he was not arrested, but delivered to the door, he committed no less crimes than the green snake. The golden light flickered, and two things appeared. 100 years of martial arts cultivation and 400,000 proficiency. You are a good snake. Xia Ran said with certainty. Senior, please don't come here, this junior has no intention of breaking out of prison, this junior likes to be imprisoned very much. Ching Snake lay on the ground and begged for mercy. What are you raising your army for? Senior, you don't know. Xia Ran stepped on his snake's tail with one foot, and said with a cold face, don't talk nonsense. The green snake said this from beginning to end. A dragon seed is imprisoned in purgatory. Xia Ran was surprised. He was very familiar with purgatory, but he didn't know that there was a real dragon hidden here. What the younger generation said, every sentence is true from the bottom of my heart. Okay, go down and accompany him. Xia Ran nodded. A sword slashed him. This time, the green snake was not resurrected again. He quickly took off the materials on his body and decomposed the white snake. Green snake's materials have to be handed in, while white snake will earn it. Out of purgatory. Two powerful breaths passed him by and quickly rushed into purgatory. It came so quickly. Xia Ran was surprised. In purgatory, a man and a woman are standing in green snake's cell. The man was wearing the clothes of the sword guard and a set of purple robes, and he was a master Zijian. Women are mature and charming, with infinite enchantment in every move. She is a member of the spiritual god division. The spirit god division is different from the sword guard. All the people inside are spiritual masters. However, the two have the same powers, encircling and suppressing demons and arresting giants of the demonic way, and if they commit trouble, they will all be taken down. A great master, a real spirit master, guards the heavenly prison and is responsible for the safety here. Looking at the traces of battle left in the cell, some auras have not dissipated, especially the monstrous demonic energy of the white snake, which is too strong. Judging from the current situation, there is a snake demon in the realm of a great master mixed in. Lord Zijian said. He's already dead, said the enchanting woman. To solve this snake demon in such a short period of time, this person is at least a great master, or even stronger. But in the prison, apart from the two of us, I really can't think of anyone else. Eldest princess. The enchanting woman pointed in one direction. Lord Zijian shook his head, her pipa bone is sealed, and the golden phoenix alone can't do it. The two looked at each other. They all saw the solemnity in their eyes. Can you find him? Lord Zijian asked. The enchanting woman shook her head. I've tried the secret method just now, and I haven't heard from you. Has it gone already? Whether we leave or not, there is no loss in Tianjing, it has nothing to do with us. Besides, we are going to rotate soon. It is better to have less than one more thing. The enchanting woman said. You're right, it's very unwise to provoke a powerful enemy for yourself. Lord Zijian nodded. After handing the materials of the green snake to the captain, Xia Ran was called to a quiet room. Both Master Zijian and the enchanting woman are there. I've seen adults. Xia Ran said. I'm asking you, you just sent green snake on the road, have you ever seen other people in purgatory? Lord Zijian stared at him with majestic eyes, trying to see through Xia Ran. Xia Ran's face was calm, without any disturbance, everything is normal. Really didn't see anything? The enchanting woman asked with a blue light in her eyes. Yet. Xia Ran replied. The enchanting woman always felt that something was wrong, but Xia Ran didn't look like she was pretending. She put away her spiritual skills and waved her hand, go out. Xia Ran left. Lord Zijian said, are you giving up now? Maybe I'm thinking too much. Since the other party can sneak into the prison while we are guarding, if they want to leave, with the strength of the two of us, I'm afraid they won't be able to find out. The enchanting woman said. Back to the quiet room. Xia Ran locked the door. The spiritual master of the first level of the real world, and the martial artist of the second level of the Grand Master, is this the secret power that guards the heavenly prison? Add 400,000 proficiency to Jushin Yuling's He-shun. Attribute refresh. Jushin Yuling to pure power, a little success, the speed of operation is faster than before, and even the power of pure spiritual power has doubled. It takes 1 million proficiency to raise the realm to a small level of success. If this is raised to return to the basics, I'm afraid it is an astronomical figure. Xia Ran was stunned. More than 100 years of martial arts cultivation. He has already taken half a foot, half a step into the Xianzong realm. Judging from the current situation, it would take about 100 years of martial arts cultivation to officially break through to the Xianzong realm. Out of the quiet room, Xia Ran entered purgatory. A dragon was imprisoned in purgatory. He had not seen a dragon for 3 years in the heavenly prison. The dragon seed is full of treasures. If it is really a real dragon, you can put some dragon blood on him. With his clear eyesight, he checked the demons imprisoned in the cell one by one. When he arrived at cell number 99, Xia Ran stopped. Inside is a fish demon, the cultivation base of the great master Zhushang. The pipa bone was sealed, and the body was covered with chains made of 10,000 years of black iron. Under the inspection of Lingqing Mingmu, the magic of the fish demon disappeared, and the real face was a dragon. The bloodline is very pure, at least 90% of the dragon veins. If he is allowed to break through to the Xianzong realm, the dragon veins will be completely formed, and then he will be a real dragon species. Isn't this Jiaolong? Xia Ran muttered. What are you looking at? Jiaolong said coldly. Although Jiaolong is strong, it is useless to him. If it is a real dragon, with pure dragon blood will be of little use to him. Would you like to train him? Make him a real dragon, and then bleed him. Xia Ran thought. This king asked you something. What are you looking at? Xia Ran opened the prison door and walked in, took out the flesh and blood of the white snake, and threw it in front of him. Eat! Are you going to send this king on his way? Xiaolong was frightened. You can eat as much as you want, where does all this nonsense come from? Xia Ran scolded. Eat all you want, I'm afraid you won't be able to be the king. Xiaolong opened his mouth and swallowed. Swallow all the snake meat and blood. The dragon veins in the body are purer again. The snake demon of the great master Daoxing? You are really big hands. Xiaolong sneered. Xia Ran took out the white snake demon pill and threw it again. Xiaolong refused to accept anyone who came, and opened his mouth to swallow the demon pill. The demon pill contains all the essence of the white snake, which greatly improved his bloodline. After the digestion, Xiaolong's Taoism has been elevated to the 10th level of the Great Grand Master, and the dragon's veins have become more pure. Also, Xiaolong's eyes lit up. No. Xia Ran said. After leaving the cell, he locked the cell door. Looking at the back of him leaving, Xiaolong squinted his eyes and pondered, did he discover the true identity of this king? It's impossible. This king's illusion technique can't be seen even by a strong person in the Xianzong realm. By the afternoon, after changing shifts, there is a half-day break. Xia Ran changed into a set of clothes and walked towards the market. White snake's materials have to be handled, and it is always inconvenient to keep it on his body, and it has no effect on him. Moya Pavilion specializes in selling monster materials, as well as various training resources. In the room, an old man and a man with a knife scar are sitting across the table. Has it all been arranged? The old man asked. I'm ready here, and the news has already been distributed. In the early morning of tomorrow night, the ancestor of the Blood Sword sect and the demon lord of the Rakshasa sect will fight in the imperial city, attracting all their attention. What about you? Said the scarred man. My side is also ready. Once you make a move on your side, the people on my side will break into the heavenly prison and rescue the Holy Sun. The old man said. There are 2 great masters guarding the prison, are you sure? The man with scars was worried. I invited King Hu of Daking Shan to take action, and it was absolutely safe. The face of the man with scar changed, he seemed to be very afraid of this demon, and the fear flashed in his eyes. How could he agree to you? Nothing is impossible, as long as you give enough, he will naturally take action. The old man said. I'm relieved in this way. The man with scars nodded. Leaving the back hall. Passing through the hall, he glanced at the white snake material that Xia Ran took out, his pupil shrank, and there was greed in his eyes. Snake tendons, snake skin, snake scales, etc. Xia Ran put all these materials on the counter. How much are these worth? A total of 2 million taels. The shopkeeper said. Okay. Xia Ran nodded. He took the silver note from the shopkeeper and turned to leave. The scarred man secretly followed. If such a huge sum of money could be obtained, he would definitely go further. Out of the Moya Pavilion. After walking less than 10 steps, he noticed that someone was following him behind him. The corner of Xia Ran's mouth twitched, and he continued to move forward quietly. Interesting, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com even dared to fight its own ideas. Changed the direction and entered a small alley. Hey! A huge strong wind rushed towards his face, and a stream of light turned into lightning and shot towards his face. Xia Ran threw his fist and shattered the flying knife that had been shot. Looking at the man with scars who came out from the corner, he asked, as soon as my front foot came out, you sent someone to kill me on my hind foot. Hand over the money, I will leave you a whole corpse. The man with scars said coldly. It's just you. It's just me. The scarred man stepped forward. The Great Grand Master's second-level powerful aura blocked all of Xia Ran's escape routes and pressed him towards him. Xia Ran didn't care, his body trembled, easily breaking the opponent's aura. Not yet qualified. Looking for death. The scarred man was furious. The blood light rolled, and with one step, he rushed up quickly, and slapped a palm in the air, Hunyuan's palm. In a flick of the wind, it turned into a giant palm print more than 10 feet in size, falling from the sky and overbearingly suppressing it. Broke in. Xiao Ran shot. With a casual slap, the palm print that the opponent slammed over was broken. Already in front of him, he punched his dantian with a punch, abolishing his cultivation, violent power, and instantly knocked him out. He walked in front of him, stepped on his chest, and looked at him condescendingly. It's nothing more than that. Predecessor, Senior. I'm the left guardian of the heavenly demon sect. It's not against you to stop you, I just want to learn something from you. The man with the scar hurriedly explained. Ask for a ticket, a book list, a reward. Xiaobai is not a picky eater, he wants everything, O degree omega degree O, dot. I didn't mean to kill you either, but I missed and killed you with one punch. Xiao Ran said. The scarred man was desperate, but he was still struggling. Senior, for the sake of our sect master, please spare me once. Who is your sect master? Senior, you haven't heard of it. He is famous. Xiao Ran asked. The master of the sect is high strength, and the great master is 10th level. He has a magical power that shocks the world and weeps the ghosts and gods. He has a great reputation in the rivers and lakes. If you mention Tian Momin, even if it is a demon, you must give it a 3-point thin face. Scar men introduce. Your sect master is in the capital now. No. The sect master is still in the sect, and he is in retreat. If he does not break through to the Xianzong realm, he will not leave. The man with scars said. It's a pity. Xiao Ran shook his head. Stomping on his head with one foot. The Golden Book of Fortune appeared, showing his personal information and the sins he had committed. Murder without blinking an eye, joy is impermanent. The golden light flickered, and the golden page showed two things, 200,000 proficiency and a 7-jeweled colored jade belt. Adding 200,000 proficiency to sword intent, the attributes are refreshed, and it is still a small success. However, the power of sword intent has become stronger, by more than 3 points. Take out the 7 treasure-colored jade belt. This is a spiritual treasure, inlaid with 7 gems, each gem has a different color, dazzling luster, has 10 cubes, and can be stored. It's a good thing. Xiao Ran smiled. Take off the waistband of the trousers and replace it with the 7 treasure-colored jade belt. It's okay, it's pretty good. Looking at the direction of Moya Pavilion, he didn't rush to do it. After it got dark, he sent it a punch and sent them on their way. Go back to dorms. Before entering, a jailer hurried over. Xiao Ran, you made me look good. Is something wrong? Xiao Ran asked. Sir, let you go over immediately. Now. Yet. The jailer nodded. Into the prison. Except for Xiao Ran, everyone in his class has already arrived. This officer has just received the news from above. Starting today, for the next 3 days, all the prisons will be under martial law. If there are no special events, no one will be allowed to leave the prison. The captain announced. What happened, my lord? Someone asked. The ancestor of the Blood Sword sect and the demon master of the Rakshasa sect will have a decisive battle in the imperial city tomorrow night. There are many more powerful foreigners in the capital, and some demons have mixed in. To ensure that the prison is safe, we must go all out. The captain introduced. Back to purgatory. Xiao Ran wandered around and inspected his own territory. The demons are very honest, and they screamed miserably under the torment of purgatory fire and filth. Passing by the eldest princess. The bloat on her face has dissipated. The hat was destroyed, and the beautiful face looked at him coldly. Who are you? Why are you able to suppress the demonic disease of Ben Gong's cultivation of the 9 heavens Yuling to pure power? You ask me, who should I ask? Xiao Ran left immediately. Stop for Ben Gong! The eldest princess shouted. Xiao Ran doesn't ignore her, this woman is crazy. The ancestor's last words, no one can solve the legacy of the 9 heavens Yuling's Hishang, how did he do it? The eldest princess frowned. Moya Pavilion. The old man had a gloomy face. It was all afternoon, and there was still no news from the man with scar. A subordinate hurried in from outside. I've seen adults. Still no news. The old man asked. No. The subordinates have sent all the people out, no matter how they look for it, they will never get any news from the left protector. Is something wrong? The old man was suspicious. Probably not. Hufazo is a great master, good at concealment, and has always been Loki, so it is very likely that he is out of the city to do other things. Put his affairs aside for the time being, you can go out again and let the ancestor of the Blood Sword sect and the demon lord of the Rakshasa sect act according to the plan. It's your lord. The subordinate ordered to retreat. I don't know what's going on, but the old man's eyelids twitched wildly, as if something bad was about to happen. Rubbing his temples. Strange. Why does the old man feel palpitations? The old man was suspicious. After pondering for a while, he commanded outside, pass on this old man's order, and the defense will be doubled. Into the night. Xiao Ran glanced at the sky, guessing that even if it was not early in the morning, it was almost time to act. Use the art of transformation to transform the appearance into an old man. The majestic soul power is used to distort the surrounding space. Even if he is close at hand, no one else can find him. It will be blocked by a layer of space force, and all you see is the air. With one step, he exited the 9th floor and walked outside. When they got to the hall on the 1st floor, the captain sat on the chair and closed his eyes, surrounded by jailers, waiting solemnly. Xiao Ran walked past them, but these people didn't feel it at all. Out of the prison. Xiao Ran paused in his footsteps, and in the sense of his soul power, the 2 strong men from the Sword Guard and the Spiritual God Division hid in secret and meditated. Glancing at it, he quickly left from being surrounded by layers. Just as he left, in a room, the enchanting woman of Ling Shen Division opened her eyes. It's so good, why do I feel like I'm being peeped? Lord Zijian rolled his eyes angrily. Don't be suspicious. You reading www.yuyuganshu.com. There are 2 of us guarding here, so don't even think of a fly in or out. That's true. The enchanting woman nodded. The 2 continued to meditate and practice. The night ban is imposed on the night of the summer, unless it is a special day or an important festival, the night ban will be lifted. The street is very deserted, except for the screams of beating men, there is only the howling night wind. A figure appeared silently at the entrance of Moya Pavilion. It was Xiao Ran who changed his appearance. Looking at the plaque of Moya Pavilion, Xiao Ran shot, and his strong soul force swept out, heaven and earth. With the power of the soul, it is arranged into a great net that covers the sky, covering the entire Moya Pavilion. The golden light spun, blocking a domain. If you want to break through, unless your cultivation level surpasses Xiao Ran, no one will be able to leave. As soon as he stepped on, his right foot stepped out, and a terrifying soul stepped down from the heaven and earth domineeringly, bursting with golden light, crushing everything violently. A foot fell, and the entire Moya Pavilion was smashed into pieces and turned into ruins. Bold! An angry shout sounded, and a white-haired old man rushed out of the ruins, staring at Xiao Ran with cold eyes, murderous. Looking at the heaven and earth net shrouded in the surrounding, the huge soul power, the eyelids jumped, and the violent murderous aura instantly dropped to zero. His heart sank, he fell to the bottom, and secretly asked where did this old monster come from? Accompanying the smiling face, he tried his best to make his smile appear kinder. Moya Pavilion, always behave in a proper way. I ask myself that I have never provoked my senior. What do you mean, senior? I sold some snake demon materials here during the day. As soon as I left the store, I was targeted by your people. Did you forget it so quickly? Xiao Ran asked. Senior, what did you say? Why can't I understand it? The old man was puzzled. Let me remind you again, the man who killed me has a scar on his face. Has he been killed by you? The old man was furious. Well, it's in my hands. Xiao Ran admitted. You, destroy our plan of the demon sect, have you ever thought about the consequences of doing so? The old man shouted. He took out a long sword, imposing like a chain, and the sword light illuminated the night sky. He suddenly slashed out a sword, break it for this old man. A sword fell on the Tian Ludi net, trying to break the Tian Ludi net and escape from here. The power of the soul circulated, blocking all the power of this sword. That's it. Xiao Ran said. The old man was startled. With his great master's third-level cultivation, he tried his best to attack, but he couldn't even open a gap. What was his cultivation? Could it be a high-level spiritual master in the real world? The more I think about it, the more afraid it becomes. Resisting is death, and not resisting is also death. Old Yellow Fang bites and fights, mobilizes all the spiritual power in the body, pours it into the sword body, and uses the best earth-level skills, Xianming swordsmanship. There was sword light everywhere between heaven and earth, and the terrifying sword energy swept vertically and horizontally. The sword light that was dozens of feet in size, as the long sword was cut out again, all fell on the Tian Ludi net. Chi! The air and waves shot in all directions, and the sky and the earth were as stable as Mount Tai, and they blocked him again with a sword with all their strength. Cough! Cough! Facing Xiao Ran's gaze, the old man coughed awkwardly. Senior, don't misunderstand, the junior felt something just now, and wanted to offer a sword. I will make you smile. I'm not mistaken, it's pretty. Xiao Ran nodded. Can this junior go? I'll send it to you. Xiao Ran shot. Sword intent displays, even if it is only a small success, but sword intent is sword intent. Among 10,000 sword cultivators, if one person can comprehend sword intent, it will already burn a high incense. As soon as it appeared, it penetrated the world. In the net of heaven and earth, everything was enveloped by sword energy, locking the old man. No. A sword light that cut off the eternity fell from the 9 heavens, destroying him with one sword, and not even a single bit of scum was left. A sword mark with a depth of hundreds of meters was left on the ground, and the sharp sword flow swirled, swallowing everything around it. It's quite useful. Xiao Ran said. The Golden Book of Good Fortune appeared, introducing his personal information and the crimes he had committed. He was even more abominable than the man with a scar. He actually used the primordial yin of a young girl to practice magic arts. The girl who died in his hands had 800 if not 1,000. Scumbag! Xiao Ran cursed. The golden page turned, showing 3 things: 300,000 proficiency, 10 years of martial arts cultivation, and 1 blood ginseng pill. Looking at the surrounding ruins, Xiao Ran grabbed it from the air and roared, "Come here!" The tyrannical suction burst out from the palm, and all the training materials left in the Moya Pavilion were emptied. Put away your soul power, and was about to turn around and leave. A strong man broke through the air, and appeared in front of him in a few breaths. The other party is a member of the Sword Guard, a deputy sword master, and the red robe on his body is very flamboyant. With a cold face and cold eyes, Xiao Ran was locked. This is the capital of Great Xia, you shouldn't be wild here. The deputy sword master said coldly. I see, I must pay attention next time. Xiao Ran said. Are you going to the prison with me by yourself, or do you want this sword master to invite you over? Isn't it just a fight? Do you need to mobilize the public? It seems that this sword master will take the shot himself. The deputy sword master said. People are like ghosts, and the speed is too fast. The momentum of the half-step Xianzhou realm shook the world, pressing over like a panic. 6. Domain Swordsmanship. The long sword slashed out and evolved into the six-sided sword domain, and the majestic sword energy slashed fiercely. It's said that this time it was careless. Why are you so obsessive? Xiao Ran was very unhappy. The right fist was raised, tens of thousands of golden lights condensed from the fist, and the momentum reached its peak in an instant. 6 Paths of Divine Prison Fist. This heaven-level top quality boxing technique has been cultivated by him to return to the basics. With a punch, it turned into 6 reincarnations, suppressed the divine prison, and slammed into the sword light that filled the sky. Puff! After the punch, the deputy sword master of the divine sword guard, like a kite with a broken string, spit out a mouthful of blood, was severely injured, turned into a meteor, and flew backwards. Its speed is far more than twice as fast. It was said that it wasn't intentional, you had to force me to take action. Xiao Ran complained. He stretched his head and glanced, and the direction he flew out seemed to be from the palace. This is not. Several tyrannical auras erupted from the palace, rushing towards the heaven and earth. The wind is tight, slip away. After a dozen breaths, several figures appeared on the ruins of Moya Pavilion, and one of them was the deputy sword master just now. However, his current appearance is very miserable, and the intestines in his chest are about to fall out. Fortunately, his cultivation is so profound that he will not die for a while. Looking at the terrifying sword energy hundreds of meters deep on the ground, several people looked solemn. This person actually comprehends the meaning of the sword, so to judge from this, he is at least a strong person in the Xianzhou realm. The scene was silent. A strong person in the Xianzhou realm enters the capital, and the consequences are really terrifying. It could be a catastrophic disaster. Send the order, and let all the people from the Shenjian Guard and the Ling Shen Division be dispatched to take down all the demons and powerful demons hidden in the capital, regardless of life or death. I was hurt like this by him, is it just like that? The deputy sword master was not reconciled. The next time you meet him, why don't you just call him back? The deputy sword master was speechless. If I could beat him, how could I still be in such a miserable state? Back to purgatory. Xiao Ran didn't startle anyone. Sitting in the quiet room, 300,000 proficiency was added to sword intent, and the attributes were refreshed. Sword intent, pure fire. Finally, it has been upgraded. After it has been upgraded to perfection, the power of sword intent is even more terrifying, and its power has more than doubled compared to the previous one. However, if you want to improve to the level of perfection, you need a lot of proficiency. The martial arts cultivation level has been improved for another 10 years, and it is still 90 years away from breaking through to the Xianzhou realm. Just now, the pure spiritual power in Xiao Ran's body is very strong, like the ocean, it is too thick. Taking the blood ginseng pill, the medicine used by the spiritual master, a blood ginseng pill can increase the power of the soul for 10 years. After eating the medicine pill, the power of the soul will increase for 10 years. There are so many old monsters hidden in the palace. Fortunately, they slipped fast, otherwise they would be discovered. Xiao Ran said. Out of the quiet room. After entering purgatory, he stopped at Jiaolong. Seeing Xiao Ran again, Jiaolong didn't panic, he always felt that this person was staring at him, uneasy and kind. Why are you here again? Jiaolong said. Xiao Ran took out the key, opened the door and walked in, grinning, this is my home, I can come when I want. Ask for collections, tickets, everything, Xiaobai is not a picky eater, O degree omega degree O, dot. Jiaolong was silent, then said, did you give this king food again this time? You dare to eat? Xiao Ran said. Is there anything that this king dares not? As long as you dare to give it, this king will dare to eat. Jiao Long sneered. Xiao Ran took out a pile of cultivation resources, threw them in front of him, and piled them up into a hill. Gollum! Jiao Long swallowed his saliva fiercely, and said, nothing to be courteous, either a traitor or a thief. Then do you eat or not? Xiao Ran asked. Anyway, it's the fish on the sticky board, why don't you eat it? Jiao Long opened his mouth and swallowed all the cultivation resources. The dragon veins are a little more pure, and they haven't taken that step yet. With provocative eyes, he said proudly, this king has already eaten. Xiao Ran took out the container and the dagger. Jiao Long was startled and struggled violently. The chains tied to him vibrated with a hula-la. He glared angrily, what are you going to do? Bleeding. Xiao Ran said. Walking to his side, Jiao Long opened his mouth to bite. Boom! Just as he stretched out his head, Xiao Ran punched him with golden eyes. With a stroke of the dagger, a hole was cut in his arm, the blood of the dragon gushed out, and the container caught it. You'd better stay still. Sprinkle a little, and I'll make holes until the bottle is full. This king is not the loach that you raised. Jiao Long's teeth rattled in anger. There is no free lunch in the world, how can there be a reason why light can't get in? A 2-pound bottle was filled with dragon blood in no time. With a flick of his finger, a golden light hit his wound, which healed instantly and stopped the bleeding. Looking at him again, his face was pale, his breath was a lot of sluggish, and he looked like he had diarrhea. Don't pretend to be dead, with your Taoism, you can recover your vitality in 2 or 3 days. Xiao Ran kicked him. Put away the bottle, leave the cell, lock the cell door and leave. Devil! This king swears that he will never eat your food again. Jiao Long said viciously. Back to the quiet room. Xiao Ran took out the bottle, looked at the dragon blood inside, and drank it. It's hard to drink. However, the effect is still a little bit. Jushan Yuling's Heshun will refine it, tempering the body, and when the effect of dragon blood disappears, the cultivation of the body will be greatly improved. It works, but the amount is too small, so we have to continue to develop it. Xiao Ran said. The next day, after breakfast, Tianjing started to work. I don't know what the wind was blowing above, there were demons one after another, or the strong demons were sent to the sky prison. Xiao Ran took over the task from the captain and put these people in the cell. I was busy from morning until it was dark, and I didn't even have time to eat lunch, and it was not over until nightfall. Have a busy day. Although the demons imprisoned this time are not too high in morality, they can't stand the large number. He has contributed a total of 550,000 proficiency, 20 years of martial arts cultivation, and a special martial art turtle breathing magic. Add 150,000 proficiency to turtle breathing spirit art. Attribute refresh. Tortoise breath, a first look at the door effect, passive martial arts, like a divine turtle, breathes naturally, conceals aura, and cannot be broken unless it exceeds 2 realms of its own. A very practical auxiliary martial arts. Bless the remaining 400,000 proficiency on sword intent. The power of sword intent has increased again, and the realm is still perfect. After 20 years of martial arts cultivation, the pure spiritual power has increased by a large margin again, and it is still 70 years away from breaking through to the next realm. Brother Xiao, why are you here? Xiao Zhou hurried over. What's wrong? Xiao Ran asked. Isn't this just finished? Everyone is hungry, so I packed some meals in the cafeteria and asked me to call you over to eat together. Xiao Zhou said. Let's go. Xiao Ran greeted. Leaving the 9th floor and entering the lobby on the 1st floor. The other two waited for a long time. Seeing Xiao Ran and the others coming, they handed over the bowls and chopsticks. Do you know why so many demons are imprisoned today? Knowing that you are well informed, Lao Zheng, don't betray you. He he. Lao Zheng smiled proudly. He stretched his head and glanced, seeing that no one was paying attention, he said in a low voice, I heard that in the early morning tonight, the ancestor of the Blood Sword sect and the demon master of the Rakshasa sect will have a decisive battle in the imperial city. The big men above are angry and want to use these people to stand up. Nonsense! The imperial city is a forbidden place for demons. Even if an ancestor of a faction dares to run wild there, he is afraid that it will be taken down in an instant. Believe it or not. Lao Zheng rolled his eyes. It was early morning. An uninvited guest came from outside the heavenly prison. His demonic energy was soaring to the sky, and his whole body was shrouded in magic light. Looking at these divine sword guards guarding outside, with a step, the violent demonic energy was vented and attacked them. Bang bang bang! Hundreds of divine sword guards, men and horses, were all knocked into the air in an instant. The divine sword guards are no more than mere men. King Hu said disdainfully. Just about to step into the heavenly prison. Two streams of light rushed over from the side and stood in front of him. It was the two people who were responsible for guarding the heavenly prison, a great master of the purple sword and a spiritual master of the real world. There are two people who can barely fight. King Hu said. You red-tailed fox clan, who broke into the prison without authorization and injured our people, are you not afraid that the imperial court will send strong men to encircle and suppress them? The enchanting woman reprimanded. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Her name is Ling Qing'er. According to the official position of Ling Shen Division, she is a priest. The divine sword guard next to her, called Shen Yiming, had a position equal to her among divine sword guards. Emperor Sheng Wen dares to send someone to Xian Mountain. King Hu sarcastically. The two of them were silent. There was an ancestor in Xian Mountain, who was well versed and powerful. No one dared to step in there if they had to. Look at each other. Ling Qing'er reprimanded, if you step back now, it's as if this matter never happened. It's too late. This king has already promised others, how can he break his promise? King Hu shook his head. A more violent demonic energy rushed out of him. Red charming heavenly fire. With a slap of both hands, endless flames rushed out from the palms, condensed into two flaming dragons, and charged towards the two of them with fangs and claws. Ling Qing'er and Shen Yiming's expressions changed drastically, and they hurriedly used their big moves to block them. But the gap between the two sides' cultivation was too great. The two of them didn't hold on to even 3 breaths, and they were severely injured. Too weak. King Hu shook his head. Instead of taking their lives, he turned around and entered the heavenly prison. According to the information provided by Tian Momin, their detained son is in cell 88 on the 9th floor. Once you enter the prison, King Hu is like a land of no one, and none of these jailers can block his place. In the blink of an eye, they reached the 9th floor. Looking at Xia Ran, who was sitting in the hall drinking tea, seeing that he wasn't afraid, he dared to look at him, and with a flick of his body, he came across from him, and said coldly, aren't you afraid of death? Heavenly prison, does this allow you to break in? Xia Ran wondered. Just rely on the two waists of Shen Jianwei and Ling Shenxi? They are also worthy. King Hu dismissed it. That's right. With your strength, it's really easy to take care of them. Xia Ran nodded. Put down the teacup and stood up from the chair. People are in the sky prison, and they can also pick up a fox demon of the 7th level of the Great Master. This is a good luck. Why does this king think that you are not afraid, but rather happy? Be confident and remove the negative tone. King Hu was taken aback for a moment, his blue eyes were about to pop out. Are you entertaining yourself? Who gave him the courage? The violent demonic energy and the insane impact shrouded the entire hall, like a heavy heavenly might, pressing towards Xia Ran. This king wants to smash your bones to ashes. The palm was grabbed suddenly, and the terrifying power circulated in the palm, grabbing towards Xia Ran's neck. They've become refined, and their temper is still so hot. Xia Ran shook his head. Facing the palm he grabbed it with a backhand, subduing the palm he grabbed. As soon as the arm was pulled, the supreme force rushed out, which he couldn't resist at all. One step at a time. He came to him, waved his fist, and smashed his head. Red charming heavenly fire. King Hu's expression changed drastically. Crazy use of innate magical powers, endless flames rushed out of the body and burned towards Xia Ran. Moment. The flame engulfed Xia Ran's whole body. No matter how powerful you are, you won't die in the flames of this great king. I don't even want to talk about you anymore. I'd be too embarrassed to take out the flames for cooking. Xia Ran shook his head. The golden light was shocked and rushed out of his body. The flames that filled the sky were extinguished in the blink of an eye in front of this golden light. It's impossible! King Hu called out in dismay. Xia Ran grabbed his neck and lifted him from the ground. Isn't it good to be a monster outside? You have to let yourself in. Tian Momin, these beasts, they dare to deceive this king. It's almost there, it's time for you to hit the road. Xia Ran said. With the palm of his hand, he pinched his neck off. A remnant soul rushed out of his corpse, gave Xia Ran a frightened look, and rushed outside. Hey! Can you still deceive corpses? Xia Ran let out a light murmur. Grabbing from the air, the terrifying suction force caught him back. No matter how hard King Hu's soul struggled, he couldn't break free. You can't kill me, I'm from Xian Mountain. Noisy! Xia Ran reprimanded. The golden light rushed out and destroyed his soul. The golden book of good fortune appeared, introducing his information and the sins he had committed. The clansmen of the Xian Mountain shit-ailed fox, specialize in absorbing the yang energy of others to cultivate. The golden page rotates, revealing one thing: Tianyan sacred fire. Is it the same? Xia Ran was speechless. He flipped the palm of his hand, and a flame the size of a basketball, golden in color, hovered in the palm of his hand. In terms of power alone, it is far more than 10 times that of Qi Mei Tianhuo. This is a good thing. Xia Ran put away the Tianyan holy fire. He dragged King Hu's body into purgatory. He stopped outside Jialong's cell again. Jialong's eyelids shrank, and his gallbladder was about to come out. Don't come here. It's useless what you said. Xia Ran opened the prison door and went in, throwing King Hu's body in front of him. Eat it. I won't eat even if I kill this king. Jialong was not fooled. Okay. I'll fulfill you. Xia Ran nodded. He raised his fist and started to fight. After a few minutes, Jialong became honest and realized the cruelty of reality. Stop fighting, I'll eat it. You're a jerk, you won't accept your fate if you don't beat yourself up. Xia Ran said. Jialong was very aggrieved, his eyes were filled with resentment, and he reluctantly swallowed King Hu in one bite. So coquettish. He's a demon fox, and it's strange if he's not showy. Xia Ran rolled his eyes. After eating King Hu, Jialong's Taoism improved again, the great master was consummated, the dragon's veins became purer, and even the weakness caused by the bloodletting yesterday has recovered. Xia Ran took out the container and the dagger. Can you be gentle? Jialong said weakly. Okay. Xia Ran replied with a smile. With a slash of the dagger, another slash on the wound from yesterday. The blood flows out, and it is connected with a container. When the bottle is full, his breath is still strong. Seeing Xia Ran taking out another bottle, Jialong was terrified. Come back. No more nonsense, just open more holes in you. Jialong was honest, and cursed his mother in his heart. He thought that the treatment in prison would be better, at least he didn't have to worry about being beaten. But now, even in prison, he can't live in peace, and he will be oppressed by others. After putting 3 bottles in a row, Xiao Ran stopped when he saw that his breath was getting weaker and weaker. Put away the 3 jade bottles, I'll find something to make up for you later. Get out of purgatory. Just reached the 9th floor. A deputy sword master of Shenjian Guard, accompanied by Ling Qing'er and Shen Yiming, rushed over with a group of jailers. I have seen all of you adults. Xiao Ran said. You just came out of purgatory? Ling Qing'er asked. Yet. Xiao Ran responded. Have you met King Hu? Who is King Hu? Xiao Ran scratched his head. Looking at the deputy sword master, he was suspicious. The intestines that he had beaten last night came out, and he was alive and kicking again after a night? The two of you don't act. The demon fox is playing tricks on him, trying to force his way into the prison. Besides the two of you, who else can kill him here? Qin Fengzhen said. You reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Sir, it's really not what you said. Shen Yiming grimaced. This sword master knows that the two of you are humble, but it should be your credit, that is, your credit. When you go back, you two will each pick up an earth-grade medicine pill. Qin Fengzhen waved his hand and set the tone for this matter. There was nothing in the prison, and the heart he was holding was also put down, and he led people away quickly. Ling Qing'er and Shen Yiming started to deal with the aftermath. When King Hu broke into this way, there were countless casualties in the heavenly prison. Even the captain of the school died in this incident, and a lot of troubles were waiting for them to deal with. Into the quiet room. Taking out the 3 bottles of dragon blood contains far more power than yesterday. After drinking the 3 bottles of dragon blood, his physical cultivation improved again. At dawn, Ling Qing'er called everyone to the hall on the 1st floor and introduced the newly appointed captain and other jailers who had been transferred from other places. Then shift over. After leaving the prison, Xiao Zhou chased after him. Brother Xiao, it's really good that you're fine. Xiao Ran patted his shoulder and joked with a smile, aren't you okay? Xiao Zhou showed fear and sighed, Brother Xiao, don't you know, you almost never saw me. That King Hu was bumped by me as soon as he reached the 8th floor. And then I slammed my head against the wall and passed out. When I woke up, I heard the news that he was resolved by Lord Ling. Xiao Zhou said. Xiao Ran gave a thumbs up, you are a talent. Brother Xiao, what about you? I was inspecting in purgatory, and when I came out, I happened to meet Lord Ling and bring someone here. Xiao Ran said. I'm asking for a collection, a ticket, a reward. Xiaobai is not a picky eater, he can do anything, O degree omega degree O, dot.